Let's hope this works. Okay, here we go. All right, let's introduce our players, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be in round one of Swiss here. Player one, and I'm going to have to go move the cameras. We've got Brad, hailing from Gulfport, Mississippi. Gulfport, Alabama. Gulfport, Alabama. I am really bad at this. It's been a hot minute. Anyway, Gulfport. And on the right, we've got Scotty, and he is going to be a local here from Mobile. Let's get into this. There is, okay, good. All that did update correctly. Awesome. Fantastic. So we got a Han and Hera, pure color matchups on both sides. Let me go make a couple of small camera adjustments, and I will be right back. I believe time has started, so we'll start the timer. I apologize. The mic might make a little bit of noise here. All right, that should be much better. And let me finish getting everybody's names in. I forgot that step in match setup. This is Brad. And this is Scotty. There we go. We've got it now. All right. Kicking things off. Brad coming in with a quick and dirty Crafty Smuggler. Scotty matching him with what appears to be a Battlefield Marine. Nice and simple. Fairly easy first turn for both players. Scotty did take the mulligan there, looking for something. Hera's a leader that I have never been able to make work. It has been a hot minute. I remember trying her with blue back in the day, but I have never been able to get... Ooh, I've got the... Oh, no, the base health's correct. I've never been able to get her to work quite right. Both players just taking those starting units and smashing into each other's base. I'm already going to have to go... I can see I'm already going to have to go adjust the top-down camera. What we got going on here? Ah, some liberated slaves. Scotty coming in with an Ezra. Both players not really interested in each other's units right now. At least, not yet. Cab, it's a fair question. Chat asking about reaction to filming, but you know, with the players how they react to this sort of thing. What I'm doing today, Cab, is I am simply as the pairings go up, I am inviting people to come to the stream. We can't really require them. It's kind of not fair. So what we are doing is we're asking them, hey, would you like to participate? Would you like to be on the stream? Brad comes in with a Cunning. Bounces Ezra and buffs someone. Not sure who exactly, but he may mark it for us. Let's see if he does. He's digging for the right token. Brilliant. Okay, so he buffed the Smuggler. Scotty comes in with a Fleet Lieutenant. Swings in with the Marine for some damage before the liberated slaves put it off the board. Smuggler's Big Six goes into Scotty's base as well. An early base race going on here, and actually, I think Scotty now on the button. It's the first time I've seen anybody play with a PSA graded showcase leader. That's interesting. I mean, it works. There's nothing wrong with it. It is. It's just odd. I would hate to have to carry that thing around. It would be a real pain in the butt, I think. Now, both these leaders come out on 6, just in case you guys need a quick refresher. We'll show you each of them real briefly. Hera allowing Scotty to play off-aspect cards for regular off-aspect Spectre cards for regular price. Han, of course, has his little shenanigans that he does with resources. We haven't seen Brad do any of that yet, at least not that I've noticed. It's been a bit of a morning, so it's going to take me a little bit to settle in. I apologize for that, and I still need to go move Brad's camera a smidge and fix the over-the-table camera. I'll do that between games. Okay, Scotty going to come in with ECL here. Show you what that looks like. Once per game, he can ambush out a unit. He's doing that with Cunning. Going to ambush into, I'm assuming the liberated slaves there. And he's going to heal a little bit off his base with Cunning's game text. Going to heal just 1. Probably a little early. I mean, it's probably not the play he wanted to make this round. Generally, when you go for that ambush, you're looking for something, I won't say potentially more impactful. Oh, he's got Chopper on the board. I missed that too. I missed him getting Chopper out. We'll go ahead and show you guys that real quick just so you can see it. His little 1-cost Chopper there. It's going to come in with a Rebel Assault now. Trying to race here. Pushing a whole bunch more damage through. 7 more damage onto Brad's base. So for the moment, Scotty with a small health lead. Halfway home here in game 1. Han deploys. Brad did use Han's action earlier this round. Scotty going to grab initiative. That leaves Brad with a whole pile of resources and 2 ready units. Scotty going to have to figure out what he's going to do. Yep, going to trade into Cunning. Really smart play there. Get rid of the Cunning. Hasn't spent any of his resources. He's going to get 1 more when Han swings in. Okay, he's going to take out the Fleet Lieutenant with Han. All the action on the ground arena. I don't want to use those right now until I get the camera fixed. I'll come back to the ground space stuff later. I agree, platform. Chat talking about using a Hera deck. I was talking to Scotty a little earlier. Scotty is one of the owners of the shop here in Mobile. He is playing today. Okay, so we just brought out Azori, and he is. We were talking about this before the when I got here early this morning when they opened up and everything, and he was basically talking about how he plays Hera because he likes Hera, right? He's just one of these guys who's like, look, I enjoy the character. He's one of these guys that theme matters more than function, I think. So Han with a somewhat commanding presence here in the ground, but it's Hera's big coming out party this turn. We'll have to see if that is impactful. Hera's one of those leaders that most of her impact happens long before the game begins, in the sense of it allows you to build things in your deck a certain way. You're not so concerned about her hitting the board, really. Coming in with a Ghost. That should allow him to shield up Chopper. Yep, Ghost comes in with a shield. Chopper coming in with a shield. That's going to be a threat that Brad is going to have to answer next turn, but for the moment, nothing really exciting. Pretty sure that's just a surprise strike. for 7. Still a solid hit. Chopper coming in for 2 more. And ditching a Falcon off the top. Chopper, if you remember, has got that really nice little game text that allows him to ditch cards off the top. Smuggle in a blaster here. Onto Zori. That's going to be another big hit. What is that? It's going to be a hit for 6. 6 to base there. Down to just a handful of HP on Scotty's base as Hera does enter the board. She swings in for 4, but he's got it. Where's it going? He can't win the race at this point, but that's what he's trying for. Interesting. I am off somewhere on... There we go. That matches what Brad is showing for his health. All right, game 1 complete. No, we're not there yet. They are readying, but, I mean, we're 1 action away from this being over here. Yeah, he just has to go to base, and that's the game. And that's it. Yeah, you're done. 25 health. There you go. All right, they got it. All right, game 1 in the books. Game 1 going to Han Yellow here. We'll do a quick reset. And I'm going to go adjust that overhead camera because it's driving me insane. So while these guys shuffle and reset, guys, I will be right back. Now, they're going to have a chance to sideboard. What I will do is let me pull the camera back and let's see if either one of them make any sideboard choices here. That gives me a chance to go mess with the camera. So, uno momento. It looks like we are going to reach for the sideboards. I will be right back. A couple more camera adjustments to make. All right, that's much better. You guys will appreciate seeing more of the table and less of Scotty's legs. All right, let's try this again. Let's come back to here as we get set for game number 2. So both players a little bit of sideboard action. Now, I'm not going to be able to talk about deck lists or sideboards. There are 59 people. That's correct. We have a total of 59 folks today. There is a Brian here in the round. They told us 60, and I guess someone who had maybe pre-signed up or something didn't make it in the end. So I was talking with our head judge yesterday when I was here doing setup, and originally in the way the tournament rules were constructed, both players would have access to deck lists throughout the event, in the sense of at any point during the event, you could basically grab your opponent's deck list and go have a look at it. They've changed that rule. That rule now only kicks in the top 8. So once you sit down to play a top 8 or better match, or top 16, the top cut, basically, you are allowed to look at your opponent's deck list. So as a result, over the course of the day, I am not going to see anybody's deck lists or sideboard options in the Swiss rounds because there is the possibility, however remote, that somebody in the event could go maybe watch the stream, catch a replay, something like this later, and have information that they are not supposed to have. So we've got a little bit of ordinary. Something I got used to doing in the Store Showdowns was being able to have both players' deck lists and display them during the course of the match, talk about what sideboard options they have. We're not going to be able to do that until much later in the event. So as we get to the top cut later in the day, we will have that option. But right here in the Swiss rounds, it's not going to be a thing. All right, a little bit of shuffling, doing things ready. Scotty's card, by the way, Scotty's Hera there. He's a huge Hera fan. Again, I was talking to him this morning when I was coming in, getting everything turned on and ready for the stream. And he's got one side of the card signed by Vanessa Marshall, who, of course, was the voice of Hera in the animated series Star Wars Rebels. The other side of the card is signed by Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who played Hera in the live-action version when she appeared in Ahsoka a couple of years ago, which I thought was really neat. I was like, okay, that's actually pretty sweet, right? Hera's one of those great characters from the first set that I just look at and I so desperately want her to be good. I keep feeling like she's just on the cusp of greatness, right? Like she's just missing a couple of little something. Something's just not quite there to push that leader over the edge because almost all of her benefit, as we were talking about, is in the deck building and economic side of the game, right? It allows you to basically pull Spectre cards, not just units, Spectre cards into the game, into your deck, regardless of aspect. So it gives you a little bit more deck building options than you might otherwise have had. But in practice, that has not played out to be super impactful on the board. I've seen people play successful Hera decks, but they have not necessarily had great success in competitive play. All right, looking at hands here. Scotty's got a couple of, I think those are, I'm not sure what those are. Can't tell if they're fleet lieutenants. They look like rebel units. Is that the Rebel Saboteur? I think that might be what that is, which is not a bad card. A 2/3 hero-only Saboteur is actually really solid. I mean, if I was Scotty, I'd be seriously considering that as my turn 1 play against one of those goofy, crafty smugglers. And he's got 2. Let's see what he does. I really like that play. I was playing Kylo a few weeks ago in my PQ, and I kind of doubled up on some early Saboteurs. Yes, that is a fabulous card for him to draw this early in the match. Pathfinder, excuse me, Rebel Pathfinder. Han going to do his shenanigans. That allows him to start the game with Bodhi and go fishing, but come up empty because Scotty's hand is full of units. Bodhi Rook lets him take a peek and discard a non-unit card, but Scotty not having any of that in his hand, and on to turn 2. Now, I really like that play from Scotty. It didn't work out this game. Of course, Brad not coming up with the crafty smuggler, but still, I love having a 2/3 sab on the board early in the modern game. It feels like they're so good against village protectors. They're so good against crafty smugglers in L3, and there's a lot of Han out there in the environment right now, so that's totally a thing. Scott coming in with 2 to base. Brad deciding on his turn 1 play, he's just going to kill the Pathfinder, excuse me. Scotty's going to ramp with a resupply. I love this play. Card's even got Hera on it. How about that? Han going to do Han things. Drop a temporary resource down. Scotty keeps initiative. Brad's going to bring out a tech. Tech, definitely one of the more controversial cards coming out of set 2. His mechanics combined with this Han1 deck frequently lead to some combos that are, frankly, a little gross. You'll find people in the community that believe that is one of the most broken cards out there, and you'll find people that are like, nah, it's fine. It's just a unit. Just murder it. Now, with Scotty's ramp, he's going to be a little ahead of Brad in the resource game, but of course, Brad can always use Han's ability to temporarily catch up for the round. But it is going to let him get Hera on the board a turn earlier than last game. He's going to need the help, too, given what he's up against, because he has no ground presence. We're going to ambush in with ECL now. Going to ambush in Zeb, a card you don't see a lot of. Zeb is a fascinating card because he's going to ambush in. He's going to ambush in onto, I forgot what other unit he had out there. Oh, he's going to kill the tech, and then when Zeb attacks, he can deal damage, and he's going to wipe out the Bodhi. So with one play, Zeb clears the board there as the Gamorrean Guards come in for Han, but of course the Gamorrean Guards, a solid 4/4, not a Sentinel at the moment. Let me pull the card up here for you guys. These guys. I'm inclined to agree. Chat saying that tech is perhaps not as big an issue. It's more DJ. I'm inclined to agree. I do feel like I think tech is one of those cards that it's, I hate this word, but I'm going to use it anyway. It's problematic in the sense of there's that risk that something you don't see in testing creeps past you and becomes a problem later on. All the action in the ground arena this game, neither player having anything in space. All right, Scotty coming in with a command, a really, really good card in double green. We're going to double XP onto Zeb. That moves him up to a 7/5 with those damage tokens. And it looks like he's going to then execute. He's going to execute the guards using the deal a damage portion of command. He's going to just murder those guys right off the board. That is a big Zeb. Now, if Brad's sitting on a waylay, now's the time. I'm just saying. Doesn't look like it. He's going to use Han's ability and get to 6 resources, and there comes in a big hit to base that makes Zeb very happy. If I was Brad, if I was Scotty, I might have waited on that. Actually, let me have a look at Zeb again. Again, I don't remember the text of everything. What does Zeb do again? When he okay, he has to defeat a defend. Okay, he has to kill a unit to get his free damage. That's the thing. There we go. Now Zeb being as big as he is means that Han can not just clear him. It's going to take another card from Brad. I'm not sure if Scotty passed or took the initiative there. He's got 2 resources left. Han comes into base. First damage that Brad has broken through this game. Leaves both players on 21 HP remaining. Brad with 7 resources to spend. Looks like he's got about 2 or 3 cards in his hand. It's a good point. Chat talking about tech being big versus villainy control. 100%. I mean, I understand. There's a reason tech is so good, right? There's so many reasons that tech is so good. It's just more that it's one of these. It's one link in the DJ combo that a lot of people feel is very gross right now. All right. This is Han. This is one of Han's big curve out cards here as we're looking at new Enfys Nest coming onto the board. Now, what's interesting is that Enfys not able to use the game text there because Zeb is too big. Hera deploys, swings in. Brad claims. And that looks like that's going to end up being the whole round. That is a big, big Zeborelios. Holy crap. Brad probably got his fingers crossed for a blaster that he can ambush in. Although I think if he'd had one of those, he probably would have done it on Han already. Well, maybe not. He would have had to trade his leader. Maybe not a great play for them. Game 2 much more interesting than Game 1. Game 1 was a bit of a steamroll. Hera holding her own here in Game 2. Brad's got to clean out 2 resources and throw them into his discard pile because last turn he used Han's ability on the flip side and then deployed the leader and got Han's ability again when he attacked in. There we go. So starting the round at 6 on the board for Brad, 6 resources. This will be Scotty's 7 resource turn. He resupplied a little earlier in the game. That is an 8/6 Zeborelios. If I am Scotty, I am very, very unhappy that I did not claim initiative because Wow. I mean, I understand why he brought out Hera. I completely get it. But, man, that Zeb is such a huge threat that Brad has to answer. He's got to do something with it. There it is. He did draw into the blaster. I think he's going to just trading out for Zeb here. Or is he going to base? No, he's got to trade out for Zeb. Yep. Good play. You've got certain threats on the board you have to answer, and an 8/6 Zeborelios is absolutely one of them. Now, interestingly enough, with Hera being the only remaining unit here for Brad, the game text on Enfys Nest is not particularly impactful until he does something else. Scotty going to take a quick peek at his resource row here, look and see what he may have hidden down there for smuggle cards. I keep waiting for Scanning Crew to become a big impact card in this meta, but it just seems to be only creeping in. Thank you for the raid board game, James. Welcome in. Oh, the other thing I need to do, Xanda, I'm going to make my... between rounds, I need to pin the Melee, the tournament page for this event. Make me a note. Okay, there we go. All right. We've got a Sabine in hand, but this is new Sabine. Newish Sabine from Twilight of the Republic. She is... Oh, wrong card, wrong player. Apologies. Let's try again. Right card, wrong side of the board. There we go. She is a Spectre, coming in at 4/4. We're going to ambush in another blaster to murder Hera and push Sabine back to hand. Oh, that hurts. That hurts. Enfys is going to be a problem here for Scotty. He's got to clear that unit, especially with that blaster on it. That's a big problem. A 7 attack Enfys can throw a lot of units back into your hand. Xanda, I'll take care of it between rounds. Thank you for the reminder. It's Bonzinator. What is up, Bonds? Twitch board game crew represent. Ha! All right, Scotty's sitting on a couple of Canaans. I see a command in there. It looks like we know he's got the Sabine because it just got bounced. I'm a little surprised. One of the cards we haven't seen from Scotty is Sabine's 2-cost unit. That is such an efficient card. I don't know if he just hasn't drawn one or what. Right now, any unit that Scotty plays is going to get smashed back to hand. Yep, he's basically got to wait for Enfys to. He's got to wait for Enfys to smash his base, which is not something you're excited to see or say, but I mean that's reality. So we're going to put Kanan on the board, and then he's going to ambush into him with Han. A game that was going pretty well for Scotty feels like it's going to get away from him now. Han coming in and dealing all that damage in advance. We're going to go back to command here for Scotty. Let's see what he does. Looks like he ramped and took a unit out of his discard pile, if I followed that sequence of events correctly. But with 13 damage on the board, it's looking, I mean, you've got lethal here. Oh, you're not, you don't have total lethal. You're very close to having lethal if you're Brad. 14 HP left on Scotty's base. 13 possible damage showing on Brad's side of the board here. We know here comes Enfys. Yep, straight to the face. So a surprise strike can end the game now. Well, Bonds, welcome in. Good to see you. We've come a long way from home this morning. I drove about 9 hours yesterday to come to Mobile from Houston to cast this event, and I am excited to be here. I've been building up to covering this kind of event for many months now, with working on the overlays, the setup, the gear. It's been an adventure, but we're finally here, and I'm excited. My only disappointment is I wasn't able to find someone else to co-cast with me. I learned long ago that working tournaments like this, it's far more fun when you've got someone else to talk to and bounce commentary off of. But unfortunately, I didn't have all the regulars that I had back in Houston were not able to attend. Now, what's interesting, For those of you guys that are in the SWU community, you know there are a couple of good-sized teams out there. The Bothan Network guys have got some representatives here, and several of them offered to volunteers tribute should the need arise. Oh, Scotty's got a timely intervention. That's going to let him ambush in a Kanan. Now, he cannot clear Han. It's going to let him heal a bit. He's going to trade with Infus and just get the heal. He got 1 point of healing out of that, which is not going to be enough. Oh, hang on, 16. Oh, he got 2 points of healing out of that. Hang on a minute. I think the Cunning is going to do it. That's going to make Han a 10 attack when he swings in. All right. So he did the 4 attack and ditch a card out of the Cunning. As we're coming in, Han swings to turn 10, and that's the game. Well played from Brad. He was kind of on the back foot for the first, I'd say, 2/3 of the game, but finally able to get to his big units and stabilize there at around, what, about 7 or 8 to 7 resources or so. So a 2-0 win here in round 1 for Han Yellow. But I got to say, Hera Green surprises me. That's one of the better games I've seen out of Hera Green, and I want to go see this deck list. That's one of those deck lists that I think I'm going to go home with a picture of and mess around with just to see what I can see when the time comes, because I think that's going to be interesting. All right, guys, let's come back to here for a moment.